Hey guys, Exploring with Jay here. Uh, I just had the most amazing experience metal detecting. No, I didn't find any gold coins. Didn't find any silver coins. I didn't find any coins. Actually, previous video that I did, I stated that I did my first permission. Well, that lady that gave me permission to metal detect her yard also gave me a photo album from the 1950s. And at first I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do with that? And she goes, well, if you can do anything with it or know anybody that can, please take it. Well, alright, I'm a photographer. I can appreciate old photos, so I decided to take it. And I get it home. Well, first of all, she found it in a crawl space of the house that she had just purchased on the east side of St. Paul. Very old house. It was in very good condition, so it wasn't like it sat there and got soaking wet, in a basement or something like that, and was all moldy, crusty, and nasty. No, it was actually in really good condition, very well taken care of. So my thought was, okay, I'll take it. And I figured there was no way to track down the owner of it, and I could bring it down to the Minnesota Historical Society, or even bring it down to the VA hospital. Maybe they could blow up the pictures and use it for their lobby, or something like that. Put it to good use somehow. Well, I got it home tonight, and started looking through the photo album, and I'll add a couple of photos in here for you too. I'm not going to show any of the people in the photos out of privacy, but there are a couple of photos that really don't have anybody. They're just photos. I mean, there are people in it, but they're not of the family that own the album, and I'll get to that. But anyway, I brought it home, and I started looking through it, and there was actually some military records inside this in a manila envelope. And I decided to run the name on an internet search, just for shits and giggles, see what I could find. I figured, these photos were dated in 1950, 1951. There were photos of Greece. The Colosseum was in one of the photos. Munich, Germany. There were some photos of that place as well. And a few others. A lot of military photos of barracks, mess hall. There's two guys with positioned behind a 30 millimeter machine gun on a tripod. Stuff like that. So yeah, I ran the name on the internet search, and name popped up. There was only one person by that name with any record of living in St. Paul. And on that internet post, they also showed the person's age, or what the person's age would be today. And we did the math, and one of the certificates of the military schooling that he completed was in 1951. And we did the math, and that put him 18 to 19 years old in 1951. So the timeline fit perfect. And so I decided at this point to go knock on the door. Drive to this address and go knock on the door. Here's where things get really cool. Guy opens the door. He's about my age. He actually got red hair, hooded sweatshirt, big dude like me. And I asked, well, sir, I'm here for so-and-so. He looks at me with this really confused look, and he goes, that's my grandfather. He died. He passed away 30 years ago. What could you possibly want with him? He's been gone for 30 years. I said, well, sir, I got this photo album here. And I explained to him how this lady let me metal detect her yard and decided to give me the photo album and do what I want with it and this and that. And still has this confused look on his face, so I pulled out the manila envelope and I showed him the typed name of his grandfather on the envelope. Scratches his head and goes, well, why don't you come in and talk with my mom? I'm going to forewarn you, she's sick. Okay. Well, at this point, I was going to film all this. I thought it would be a great experience to film. But when I entered the house, this sweet little old lady was hooked up to oxygen, and she had a trach in her throat, and the only way she could talk was by pushing the button, and she had a walker next to her, and I thought to myself, gee, I mean, if this were me, I sure as hell wouldn't want the world to see me on a YouTube channel looking like this. So I decided not to film it and give the family their privacy. So this is why I'm telling you this story right now. I wanted to share it with you just because it's such an awesome story. To continue on, the son that opened the door pulled an old family photo off of a shelf, and he brought it over to me, and I opened up the book, and we immediately matched the face of his grandfather to a photo of his grandfather in the photo album holding the camera sitting up against the wall. I mean, either that or twins. Identical twins. And so right there, I knew I was on something. I knew I found the right place to bring that photo out. Then the son hands the mom the photo album, and she opens it up, and underneath one of the photos was the name Scoop. Well, that happened to be her father's nickname in the military. She recognized that right away. And then she starts looking at all the handwriting underneath all the photos describing what they were. And she realized that it's her mother's handwriting. At this point, I'm looking around, and both the brothers, the father and the mother, are all in the same room, and they got this look on their face like they couldn't believe it. This strange guy shows up at their house out of the blue, giving them an old family heirloom that they've never seen before. They didn't even know it existed. And I mean, they were literally in tears. And at the back of the photo album, there was a cutout of a piece of newspaper, and it had a name on it. And I asked her about this name, and it turns out that this name was her mom's maiden name. How cool is that? So, she started kind of telling me a little bit about her mom and dad and this and that, and turns out that there was wedding photos in this album that she had never seen before. There were photos of her father that she had never seen before. So, I mean, everybody was just in awe and in tears, and just, what a great experience this was. And I don't know how I can top it with the metal detector. I mean, even if I find a gold coin, or even a copper 1943 penny, I mean, this experience is just unbelievable. I mean, think about this. People find this stuff like this, and it takes years, decades, to find the owner. I did it in an hour. And like I said, that the mother doesn't know any of her family members that has ever lived on the east side of St. Paul, that has ever lived in that house. So we don't know how this photo album got inside this house, let alone inside that crawl space. And the lady that allowed me to metal detect her backyard just happened to pick the right person that would know how to find the owner within an hour and return long lost property that's been missing for 50 years. And I mean, it's just, what an incredible story. I can't believe that this just happened to me tonight. I mean, I left that house. I mean, I was literally in tears. I mean, I made this really sick elderly lady just the happiest person on the frickin' planet tonight. All the husband and the two boys, they shook hands, shook my hand, and gave me a big hug, and it just, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, what are the chances? My first permission metal detecting, and I get this photo album, and I'm able to return it to the rightful owners after 50 some odd years. I mean, this is crazy. I had to share this with you. I really did. One of my best metal detecting experiences yet. So I'll let you contemplate that. Feel free to comment whatever the hell you want to comment below. I did post a story on the page that I use for the Facebook, and it is literally blowing up right now. There's hundreds of reactions, and there's a whole bunch of comments, and people are just loving it. And I haven't felt this way in a long time. So, that being said, it was great talking to you. It was great telling you the story. I hope there's more to come in the future, and I hope I have more adventures like this metal detecting. I'm having a blast doing it. I am hooked. I'm a metal detector for life now, and I've only done it 5 times. This is incredible, and I'm loving every minute of it. Deuces, guys.